Oh, there we are. Grrrrr. Greetings, humans. Greetings, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Bear here, 29-year veteran of, believe it or not, no, I hope you believe it, 29-year veteran of the woods, and today, we've got a Saturday. We're actually coming to you early. Yes, indeed. Actually, normally try to do this kind of, about the 8 o'clock hour, so we're actually coming a little bit early this time. So, hey, we're gonna try it out, see if it works. If it doesn't work, nobody's gonna show up anyways, so that's alright. It'll be just Bear talking into a microphone. That ought to be interesting. Let's see where that goes. But anyways, we're here. Right before old Mother's Day. Oh, let me click on that. Let me click on that. 1 second, people. You would click the button there. There we go. Good old Mother's Day here. There we are. Tragically lost mom in a hunting incident. That's why Bear wants to get rid of the Second Amendment. So that's why he voted so many times for Joe Biden. Called him up in the middle of the night and said, Bear, holy crap, we need a whole bunch more. We need to get you to Georgia and get a whole bunch more ballots out there. So Bear, all through that night had to steadily fill out those ballots, but it was all for mom. Gotta get rid of that. That pesky Second Amendment. Yes, indeed. All right. Let's see. Is my chat working this time? Gosh, I hope it's working. Let's see. Let me 1 second, people, because YouTube. They try to play games with Bear sometimes. So let me see if I can. It's over here. Hello, all. Hello, all. Okay. Or hello, Al. Al too. Al too. Good to see Al. I don't know if Al's here or not, but hello, Al. Yes, indeed. All right, enough of this jibber jabber. We got a full show here today. Actually, as you can see, we've got a set up here between Shadow Sentry and She from Billy Tucci. So we're gonna talk about that in just a little bit. But you know what, Bear actually saw some stuff. Oh gosh, where am I? Hold on 1 second. For crying out loud, it's on a different screen. There it is. There we go. So Bear was out, I was able to check out a movie the other night and got to check it out. I don't have it on here, so just use your imagination, but checked out the movie Tenet the other night from Christopher Nolan, the latest Christopher Nolan film, and that was a very interesting film if you haven't seen it. It's kind of like, I suppose, a time-traveling James Bond kind of film. It's kind of interesting that way, although there was no real, they didn't go back to, like, the 1800s or anything like that. It was just kind of in a sort of a reverse flow time pattern. So, if you're running forward, you would have the little Tenet thing, and then all of a sudden you would be, you'd see yourself running backwards in time. So, it was kind of interesting. I couldn't understand a word that they were saying through, like, half of the movie there. And then they had the music come on and everything, and it was like, holy crap, and then you're jumping back from the couch there trying to hit the remote control on the thing there to turn down the stereo, and then of course you turn it down, and then they go back into the quiet scenes where people are talking. So you're leaning closer once again, and they had more music, and it really kind of distracted Bear from the whole kind of procedure. They also had a character, the main character was named Protagonist. You never really knew his name. It was actually played by I believe it's Denzel Washington's son. Gosh, I'm trying to remember his first name. I want to say like David or something like that, David Washington or something, something to that effect. But he did a really great job, and you could barely hear him half the time because half the time they were in masks, and other times, like, the mix was just off and everything. Bear is actually going to rename Tenet because kind of the same thing happened in one of the previous movies. Bear really hasn't checked out, what is it? What was the one? World War II one. I forget the name of the World War II movie that he did, but that was kind of So Bear's only the last thing that Bear has to go to is the latest Batman movie that he did. So they had the character Bane in there. Bane, you could barely hear him half of the time. He was all like, and it's like, huh, what, huh? Even Batman was like, what, he kind of. Hold on, let me drill a because they have the like bat ears on the costume there for him, but it's covering up his ears. So how's he able to hear? So he Batman had the problem of not being able to hear Bane, and also Bane kind of like, oh wow, that's either terrifying or he's putting in an order at McDonald's. I'm not really sure. Not really sure what it is. So Bear's going to rename Tenet, and he's going to call it Bane the Musical. That's right, Bane the Musical, because you barely understand half of the things that they're saying, and then of course, they had the music come on and everything. It was kind of a very kind of deep, pulsating bass type of, a little bit of electronic type music, and so I think it would be great. Christopher Nolan, known for a lot of things. We really haven't seen any musicals from Christopher Nolan, so I think that would be kind of an interesting thing to rename it. Nobody knows what Tenet is or what it's talking about. Just rename it. Just rename it Bane the Musical, and I think that would work out for everybody. The musical folks, and then oh hey, you want to go see Bane, but well, you're seeing, you're not really hearing or anything like that. All right. Let me get to it here because we've got the full show here for you. Let me move this out of the way so we can do the thing for the thing, and it does the thing. So there we go. Oh, God, of course, Bear. Why would you do such a thing? You got to click off the thing to do the thing. There we are. There we are. There's the screen because we want to just kind of briefly mention just a couple of comics that are going to be kind of coming up. So if you haven't gotten them already, hey, you might as well get on into it here. We've got let's see, I forget when this came out. I think this came out yesterday, but anyways, 36 hours to go on Titan Mouse of Might Artist Edition. If you haven't checked that out, it's Gary's kind of a large format of Titan, so he's re-releasing it in I believe it's a hardcover, if I'm not mistaken. It might be kind of a soft cover, but re-releasing it a larger size. That doesn't say how large on there. I think he was going from, I want to say like 8 by 11 or something like that, and then he was, if he hit a stretch goal, he was going to go up to, I believe it was 11 by 16. So I hope Gary is able to, hope he's able to get that and everything, and get the larger size in people's hands and everything, because Titan was a great book. So what you want for Little Mouse is, of course, it to become that much bigger. So yeah, if you haven't checked out the Artist Edition, I know it's a little bit of pricey price point there, but hey, do check out Gary Shipman and Titan. We've got 36 hours left, which I think that was counting yesterday. So you don't have a whole lot of time, people. Don't have a whole lot of time. All right, let me get out of that and go to the next one here. What's the next one? Oh, Graveyard Shift 3. There we are. There we are from John Malin. Yes, indeed. It says, oh, this is the variant campaign. I think, gosh, I'll have to double, triple check everything. I think that Graveyard Shift 3, either came with it or it was an option. Again, I'd have to go back and double check. But the Graveyard Shift Variant Edition and Swimsuit issue, it's closing. What? That's tonight. That's Saturday night. So he says, "Hi everyone. I want to thank all of you for checking out this campaign. We'll be wrapping Saturday night, and as always, will not be going into Man. So if you know someone that hasn't backed, or if you want to grab some extra copies, this is your last chance. The variants are exclusive to this campaign, so you don't want to miss out. And let's see, we hit all. Oh, congratulations! They hit all the stretch goals. Thanks to you. Thanks to Bear. Oh, great. So we added one last one at $125,000. Congratulations. Where we will include a poster, and he says it will be folded on the Roquefort Lilith cover for all backers. I don't know what that is, but there you are. You get an extra poster in there, so it's always nice to see. All right, anything past this point is pure bonus. Well, I'm sure it's pure bonus for John Malin, but if you want to help, please consider. Or again, just spread the links below to your friends, and it gives the link out there. Thankful is always, and missing some eyebrows as well as John. Yes, indeed. So there you are. There's the graveyard shift variant in swimsuit campaign. Oh, hey, Andrew J. Good to see you here. Yeah, we're trying out a different time, so hey, hope to get some people here to. I don't know if we're gonna do this all the time or not. We're kind of playing it by ear here, so. All right, we're just gonna go. We're just kind of wrapping it up. Gonna do some campaign talk just real quick, and then we're gonna get into. I already showed it here, but I'll show it for Andrew J. just in case. Let me go back here and find it. We're gonna be doing a kind of a She versus Shadow Sentry battle royale against there. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. But just to kind of talk about She just very quickly, over 2,000 rewards have shipped, and Hikaru, however you pronounce it, closes next Friday. So not this. Well, I guess it would be this coming up Friday. And he says it closes. In Demand closes next Friday. Actually, just real quickly, they were talking about the Graveyard Shift 2 campaign, or just kind of the general Graveyard Shift campaign. I think it's really interesting where the sorts of dividing line between people, because some people want to have the store, the in-demand store, and just keep it open for, I guess, for, the life of the project or even beyond it, to be able to sell books even after it's come out. And then you've got other people kind of like John, and I've seen this a couple other places as well, but I know John's known for it as, doing the 60 days and then boom, that's it. And if you haven't gotten your book, you haven't gotten your book. So, I don't really know how that kind of turns out. I wonder, I wonder if a lot of the stuff is helpful if you, because a lot of times campaigns will run and they'll run to the end of the 60-day campaign and they'll have this sort of final day. You got to get on it. You got to get on it. You got to get on it. And then, the campaign ends and it's like, all right, well, we're in demand. So it was like, well, I didn't need to rush right away to go get the book. I could have waited, next week till I got my paycheck or something like that. And then got it. So, I wish more people would say, yes, we're going into demand, but we want to make a push on it. But I don't know. I guess it's up to the artist. And, anyways, it was just something that Bear saw. There we go. All right, fulfillment continues. Big time. Happy Mother's Day to all moms out there. And some great work here from Billy. We'll get into that in just a second. But he goes on to say that they've delivered over 2,000 out of a total of 2,800. So hopefully you've gotten yours like Bear's got his there. We'll talk about it in just a minute. But there we are. A whole bunch of packages there. Whole bunch of packages, and you get your PDF if you didn't get it. Bear's actually got his, and you use that in the review here. Not really. There's been an issue, and I need to go back and look and double check. Maybe there was an extra book or something like that. I don't know how well the CrowdOx surveys, or it was kind of an extra thing that they were doing with CrowdOx, which I think confused a number of people. I think Bear got confused because I've got something that I need to talk to the campaign about here. But again, it might be I need to go back and just double check that, make sure. Hey, did Bear get a third book instead, and is missing out on something, or is it just 2 books? So, anyways, that's something that's between Bear and whoever else. But anyways, he also says Happy Mother's Day to Deborah. Busy packaging. Oh, come on, Bear. Packaging up boxes here and wants to get a drink. So if you have it, only $10. $10 there to give Deborah a drink for packaging. Look at all this stuff. Look at it. She's got like 10 of them in her hand and like 1,000 of them back here. Holy cow. Holy cow. So anyways, closes for good next Friday. So definitely, if you haven't checked it out, well, Bear's going to do the review here in just a second, but if you haven't checked it out, gotta say, Hikaru, however you pronounce it, very, very good book. Bear approved. Good job, Deb. Good job, Deborah. Packaging up and everything. So there we are. So, all right, without further ado, oops, no, I do need to display capture because I need to bring the thing to the thing where you do the thing, and okay, get rid of that. Oh, Bear. One of these days we'll actually do a professional show, but That's not today. It's not today, people. All right, so there's she. Let's see. Oh, Andrew says Shadow Sentry was a good read. Got the 90s Wildstorm feel, but the story was way more coherent. Which one? Wildstorm or Shadow Sentry? Pardon me. Pardon me. A crowd ox worked fine for Andrew J. Well, good for you. Good for you. Actually, it worked out just fine. I think there's, it had to do with the sketch cover. I don't know if again, I don't know if I'd gotten the second book and it got a sketch cover in there, but it's missing the sketch cover in there. Maybe I'm missing a page or something like that. But anyways, I need to go back and find out. But oh, of course I'm pointing to it, and I don't. I have something totally different on screen. I was actually pointing. I was saying that one right there. But, you couldn't see it. You couldn't see it because I had that one instead. So go figure. All right. Hello, Q. Hello, Q. I don't see a Q in the chat there, but hello. Hello, anyways. All right. Let me get back to it because we got she. It's actually going up against Shadow Sentry. We're going to talk about she. Hikiro. Bear's going to kind of treat this as two books here because he actually got the what was it? Return of the Warrior, I believe it is. So I'm gonna generally, although I don't have the PDF for it, we're looking at the PDF here, but I might kind of jump back and forth between the two books, but definitely Hikiro was the better book. It was definitely a lot better done. Well, I want to say a lot better done. Both books were very good, very good. I think this was Billy learned from the first book how to do the campaign and all that sort of stuff, and then really kind of put it into overdrive and really did a great job with it. So I really preferred the second book over the first book. Just kind of minor things. It wasn't anything major or anything like that, but it just kind of popped off the page a little bit more. On the second book here, love that Tucci art, says Andrew J. Yeah, indeed. The only kind of bad thing, and it was a great story, by the way, great story. We'll get into that in just a second, but gosh, the only thing right away was the let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 paragraph prelude to getting into she. I thought that maybe this should have been maybe kind of as a I don't know, not necessarily an ash can or anything like that, but it should have, maybe just a quick page or two. Well, I don't know if you could fit it all on a page or two, but I thought maybe this should have done, in art, just kind of showing that stuff and kind of how it kind of progressed, because they're talking about, I mean, they go all the way back to 788. I believe that's AD, 788 BC. You never know, but either way. And the 1400s, so it's a lot of stuff that they're talking about. So I kind of wish that was a little bit more kind of illustrated rather than talked about. Bear, love to get into the book, and then it kind of went to kind of a complete halt on the very first page because you're kind of reading and 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 reading. Oh, okay, all right. So, but anyways, it picks right back up off of the first book there. You've got, I don't want to spoil anything, but, well, I'll spoil some stuff here. You had in the first book it was, I believe, as a psychologist of some kind. He was worried that one of She's enemies from the past, he had escaped, so they were teaming up together to find the he's actually right here, right there, to find the bad guy. So at the very end of the book, she and what was his name? I don't see it right here right away. But anyways, the bad guy here, they ended up having to team up. So that was kind of an interesting thing where you had kind of the two sides having to team up to take down this fella here. He had kidnapped She's daughter here, so they're trying to go and find her. He'd taken her to some sort of hideout. They actually had a pretty good fight here. I mean, I thought this was pretty cool and everything. They kind of battled each other out. If you saw the first book, they were worried about the daughter. I believe her name was Hikiro. I believe that's. Let's see, where is it here? Anyways, it started with a H, so I'm gonna just say Hikiro. I could be wrong. Could be wrong, but anyways, in the first book, they were worried about her fighting and taking on her mother's legacy, and then in the second book, you see, hey, that actually kind of worked out pretty good because she was able to kind of hold her own here against this guy, and I think he has some sort of I believe it's some sort of spiritual connection with I don't know what you'd want to call it, the dark side, I suppose, or something like that, but. Anyways, they're fighting it out there. Fighting it out, battling it out here. I mean, look at this, some great colors. This was kind of done in the past, so it's got this sort of sepia color, and then kind of in the present tense, I suppose, is some of these great colors here that they're talking about here, and it's kind of interesting where you got these sorts of I don't know what you'd call him, the bad guy here that's teaming up with she, and some of the back and forth between the two. I thought that was pretty cool. You always kind of want to see some of that stuff where you have two characters that you're you know. Have different outlooks or have different motivations, and then a lot of the drama is kind of where they're butting heads and everything, and you got a lot of situations that'll set up kind of naturally there. So anyways, they come kind of find what happened, poor grandfather here, and looking for her daughter there, so they're gonna go try and find that out. But anyways, look at here, I mean, some great stuff. Find out in the dungeon what was going on. Poor guy here right now. I mean, tell you what. I mean, they tied him up for a long. I mean, that's some good knots. I mean, you'd figure after the decomposition and stuff like that, some of the knots would have loosened. But there you are. He did a really good job tying that poor soul up. Oh, that poor soul. The only downside that I see in all of this is she's daughter here is wearing a New York Islanders jersey, which Bear's got to take a little bit of a victory lap since his great team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, beat them in the playoffs last year. So I just got to take a little bit of a victory lap there and talk a little bit about Tampa Bay there instead of the New York Islanders. I don't know who 13 is. I think that might be a lucky number there. But anyways, some great colors here. I like the purples and the greens and everything. Of course, you go over here and it's a nice little blue and everything. You get all the red stuff and everything. So I think this. I mean, they did some really good job. Did a really great job. The story was excellent. Like you said, boo New York Rangers. Well, no, those were the Islanders, but yes, we can also boo the Rangers. I think they're out of it. Hockey talk, but anyways, they got in a huge fight the other night with Washington. I mean, there's nobody in the stands, which would have made it more interesting. But I think there was like 6 or 7 players in one team in one box, and like 6 or 7 in the other box. So, oh, he's a Ranger fan. Oh, okay. Well, oh, don't worry. 13 is a bum. Ah, that's good. Well, I'm sorry about your Rangers, Andrew J. Maybe, one of those rebuilding years. I thought it was kind of odd that they got the huge fine. I'm sorry, people, we're taking a slight digression here, but anyways, they got that huge fine for just saying, hey, I think this what was his name, Wilson, the big guy over there in the Washington team, he was like just pounding out one of the players of the Rangers, and I mean took him out for the season. I mean, they're already out for the season, but. Anyways, I'm sorry, people. Hockey talk, but yeah. Anyways, they had a huge fine there, and it was crazy. All right, so they try to find the daughter here, and I thought it was pretty funny that the bad guy is dressed up as the New York Police Department guy. So that was pretty cool. Nice picture here. I like this. I like this pretty cool picture here. It's kind of freaky where she saw her. In fact, it had the panels here. One of the good things that Billy did was just the panel set up here. So she's looking up at whatever, you don't see it right at first, and they're talking, and then she turns around and walk away, and then you see what she's looking at. So I thought that was pretty neat how he did that. The difference between the two, I think, is Billy has a little bit more of kind of a standard. It's not bad or anything like that, but he's got the sort of standard panel layout. Although I thought it was pretty neat, like in between some of the panels, they have this sort of, gosh, I don't know, sort of spider web sort of look to it. I thought that was pretty neat that they were going in between there. But anyways, he kind of has just kind of a standard sort of panel layout. Eric Ninaltowski, we'll see in just a minute here, had a little bit more kind of a more dynamic panel layout, which we'll talk about that in just a minute. But anyways, I thought that he did really good. One of the things, and you can't see it because it's a PDF or anything like that, but talking about the panels here, um, one of the things that you're going to see in Shadow Sentry is the panels or whatever he's drawing goes right to the spine of the page here. Okay, so when you see this in Billy's, it has a little bit of a gap. Like if you saw the spine, it would go down kind of like right there in the middle there. He's got a little bit of a gap between the panel and the spine of the book, which actually Bear really likes. One of the things that he was talking about earlier was the Cyber Frog coloring book, which is a great book, and you don't even have to color it. It's just some really great line art that he has in there. But one of the bad things about it was Ethan printed the page right on the seam there. So if you were coloring it, you couldn't color all the way to the seam there. So it's nice to have a little bit of kind of a gap between where the page folds here and where your panels are. And I'll show you why that matters here in just a little bit. But just wanted to kind of make mention of that. Also, the sepia tone here that he has, kind of they're going back in time, and Hotaru. That's the daughter's name. There we go. There we are. There she is, right there. So, anyways, kind of nice little sepia tone. I like this panel here. Grrrr. That's pretty cool. Anyways, it kind of I like the transition here. It kind of transitions from the sepia tone to kind of the present tense tone, which is kind of very bold. I would call it very bold colors here. I really like all this. In fact, it's kind of a callback to that panel that's right there, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, some really great bold colors here. I thought all the colors here, especially kind of towards the final battle here. I'm just gonna kind of skip ahead just real quick because we got another comic to talk about here. But yeah, anyways, there's the bad guy and in his man. I tell you what, there's some awesome tattoos that he's got. That's pretty cool. But yes, a lot of great colors. Look at this. You know, I like how it goes from this sort of blue to the reds there. Some great stuff. Oh, poor guy. You know, Bear's done that to a couple postmen. You know, just on occasion, not all the time. Great page here. Not there wasn't that many full page. That would be the other difference between Shadow Sentry and the book here. Didn't have a whole lot of full page stuff, but man, I mean that it really makes use of it, you know, because you go back from, you know, she's going to change into her I don't know what you would call that, not necessarily transforms into her get up there. Her fighting, I was going to call it a uniform, but it's not really a uniform. But anyways, her little fighting get up here, her little samurai uniform there. So that was pretty cool. That's pretty cool there. But let me see. There's a couple other. I don't know if you'd call that a full page or not, but it was all connected there. Thought that was pretty cool. I thought this sort of panel selection here was really neat. Pretty cool how it does sort of open it up, but it takes a couple pages. So I don't know. Oh, there's another full. We actually saw that on the email. There we are. So that's pretty cool. I like how it kind of translates between the blue and the green there. Some good stuff. All right, I don't want to ruin this if people haven't read it or anything like that. But some good stuff from Billy Tucci. Billy Tucci there, drawing some good stuff in She. All right, let me minimize that for 1 second and go to if I can get to it. Where? There's my mouse. That would help. That would really help if I knew where my mouse is, because I'm going to talk about Shadow Sentry here. All right, let me get rid of that so I can do the thing for the thing and do the things. Let me get this all situated here. Sorry, people, because we're going to talk about Shadow Sentry here. So let me see. Do I want to? Yeah, I'll go ahead and turn that off so we can do that. We can do that. Really dynamic cover here that we got. This is the Mike Miller cover. I'm trying to remember. I think Kevin Sharp did one, and I know Eric Ninaltowski did one. I think there was one other one as well. I'm not I'm not really sure which one it was, but hey, he did some really great stuff here. Let me get to it here. Let me get to it. The only downside, um, let's see, yeah, Andrew was talking about some of the confusing aspects of, there we are, confusing aspects here of Shadow Sentry. Well, maybe he was talking about Wildstorm, I'm not sure. But I had to take a drink. One of the things that Bear noticed kind of right away, if you look at the very first page here, is you got the guy running. He's running away from, I don't know, demons, whatever it is. He's running away from there, and he has his, I suppose, wife or significant other with them, and they've also got a baby that they're trying to, shepherd into hiding or trying to keep safe and everything. So you've got this first panel here. It pretty well sets up, okay, what's going on? Okay, we got to run away from these people, and we got to get this baby to safety. I mean, I that doesn't take. Let's see how many different ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. By the way, Eric Letters Too Much did a great job here. 7, 8, 9 different dialogue boxes there. When really, I mean, you basically need. Oh my God, we gotta run. The lady's like, oh yeah, we gotta run, and then okay, head over there, and that's pretty much it. You don't need this huge setup on your first panel, which it blocks a lot of the city skyline in the background, and you're just going down the page like Billy had. Okay, first page you open up. Excuse me. First page you open up. Okay, you're reading. I didn't want to. Bear read Shadow Sentry first, and then went to She all in the same night. So he was like, okay, let me get the what I thought was the quicker book out of the way. I forget, it was 40 some odd pages or something like that. Let me get this out of the way because I had to go through 2 books on She. So let me do this first. She read really quickly, and not in a bad way or anything like that. I wasn't trying to rush through it or anything like that, but Billy had his story kind of really well laid out, and you could even see that in the panel selection that he did and everything. It was very, the pace was set, and there wasn't a whole lot of extra stuff that was going on. She wasn't talking about that, she had to go get her laundry or something like that. Everything with the story was talking about the story, and there wasn't a whole lot of, it was very lean. Wasn't a whole lot of fat there. So, I felt Shadow Sentry was a little bit of the opposite. It was a long read. Bear, like you said, he was reading it about halfway through. It says, okay, let me find the shiny. Oh shoot, I forgot to pick it out. But the shiny bookmark. Book was put in the bookmark there, and go get a drink or something like that, and then come back. It was a long read, is what Bear was trying to say, in a short book. So you're just sitting there reading. Where I thought some of just the panels themselves, kind of spoke for themselves. I mean, you didn't really need a whole lot of. Well, he did need a whole lot of explanation, but I think a lot of that would have been best served if it was shifted maybe to the next book, or maybe later into the book that we're talking about here. This is page 1, 2, and 3. So this is your first 3 pages. The title of the book is called Shadow Sentry. You don't get to Shadow Sentry until let me see. Let me go back up. I gotta find it here. You don't get to them until pages 32 and 33. So you're more than 2/3 the way through the book before you were even introduced to what are I suppose, are the main characters of the book called Shadow Sentry. So these are the Shadow Sentry people, and you don't see them until like 30 odd pages later. So there needed to be some stuff that should have been kind of cut out. Um, you had a lot of switching back and forth between some of the characters. Let me get to some of that. Let me find it here. Because you got these guys battling it out here in the alleyway while the lady runs away. Really, I mean, all you needed to do was just have, like you got this guy fighting here. He's trying to fight for his life and everything, and you got the other guy up here talking, and oh well, let me just give this long soliloquy of whatever he's talking about. It's like, no, just, hey, go get him. You didn't really need a whole lot of, talk. You just let the action speak for itself. So, you have this whole sequence here oh, where's my mouse? There's my mouse. You have this whole sequence here that goes on, and they're just talking. I mean, finally we get to a sequence here where there's not a whole, just let the artwork kind of speak for itself. You see this, not really sure what happens here. I don't know if she's like conjuring up this orphanage, or if it's like getting made invisible. I'm not really sure what to do. I could have used a dialogue box on that one, so I'm not really sure what happened. But in the next page, it blows up. You see that off screen, so you're not really sure. Oh my gosh, what happened to the baby? Oh my gosh, so you gotta kind of stay tuned for that. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was kind of nice little hang on. But that's what is that? Page 6 and 7. You're 7 pages into it, and you haven't even started to discuss what was going on. I did like this scene. I kind of felt that they should have kind of started it with this scene here. You've got these sort of your main bad guy here, and he's talking, always frustrated, and why I love the little hand slamming down on the table, or arm cushion here by the guy. He's like, I'm so mad. And you have this other gentleman that's being introduced at the same time. So you see him smashing down on the arm pad there, and then in the panel below you have the guard putting his handprint in there. So I thought that was a neat little kind of transition there, where you have you're starting to talk about the main bad guy here, which I thought that they should have just kind of straight up started with here. But anyways, he's, damn your insolence and everything for the guy. But one of the great pages, I thought this one was just one of the great pages here, where the guy here is being led down the staircase into this dungeon, and he's basically, I just don't give a crap about anything. I thought the character was great. He's like, oh yeah, he's taking me to the dungeon here with all these weird creeps looking out on me. I think he said something like, did I kill somebody you knew, or something like that. So I just thought that was I thought this page here was really cool. You didn't see a whole lot of full page stuff in Billy Tucci's stuff. Where this one, I mean, you basically have these are actually 2 pages here. I don't know if they would have went together or not. I kind of put them together. Just they looked really neat as just how it looked on the page and everything. So, anyways, you have the main bad guy here, and he's trying to recruit a new recruit here, and basically the guy is just not having it. He's like, what is it? He's trying to, I will, if you help me, I will get you out of prison. And it's like, well, yeah, but I'm gonna have to sell my soul to you. I don't want to sell my soul to you. Who are you? I really thought this was just a great scene. I thought the character was great. I felt that the character, you could have made the bad guy character, what was his name? I'm trying to read it here. Oh, I forget his name right off the top of my head. I just thought he was a great character. I wish there was a little bit more of that, and kind of counter, kind of as the opposite of the Shadow Sentry people. I thought what Eric did, as far as some of the bad guy characters and everything, was just spot on. I thought he did a really good job with the sort of what were they called, like Hellborn or something like that. I thought he did a really great job with the characters and everything. Let me see. Let me just keep going. Anyways, this scene just ended way too shortly. Oh, there he goes. Oops, there's a good full page one. Oh, there he is, the Bloodbane. So he transforms into the Bloodbane. I think we got the card. Yeah, was it? Oh no, the guy being held up is, his name is Macron, or Macon. I don't know which, but anyways, so he's basically being subsumed into this Bloodborne guy's army. I think he was something like the firstborn of the devil or something like that. So, anyways, he had a rough childhood, to say the least here. So, anyways, he's recruiting this guy, and he's trying to get him into his army and everything after the previous guy just kind of let him down and everything. So, again, we kind of cut back to kind of modern day. What was this? Yeah, modern day. I think it was Philadelphia. Philadelphia, we have kind of our sorts of, what I suppose, and here we are 15 pages in, I suppose this would be maybe our main character. I'm not really sure. Um, it's, excuse me. Take a drink. Take a drink, beer. It's your sort of a chosen one trope. So you got the guy, and I suppose we're supposed to assume that it was the baby originally, because it's about 18 years afterwards that you have this scene. So you get the guy in the hoodie here. He's trying to stand up for somebody there that was in juvenile hall with him. So they gets into a fight here with a guy. And you always see the fight where he's trying to like, okay, I'm gonna help out and win the day. I'm gonna win the day. And no, he ends up getting his butt beat. I love this little panel here at the very bottom here. Where he's kind of an outline here where he's just getting his butt beat, and they're not cops, I don't know, but the sort of cops, the sort of guards that kind of come in and kind of help him out. Didn't work out at all. Look at that. He gets smacked in the back of the head and then falls down, and he's getting beaten up and everything. So ends up, whoops, ends up in the hospital here. That was kind of the one thing, is he ends up in the hospital twice, which was kind of weird. I felt that unless they were trying to do some sort of um, repetition and variation thing. I thought that it should have just been like one hospital visit. So, you're seeing him come in here, and then you're going to see him come into the hospital later on. So I felt that would have been. I thought it was a little bit redundant. I felt that you could have just done one hospital visit or something like that. So you could have taken out the sort of beat in. What was it? The sort of he's getting beat up here. It kind of tells you about the character, but then you're also being told about the character later on. So you see him. Let me see if I can get to it here. You see him later on here. So you're talking. He's kind of talking in the first person here about what he's gone through in life and everything here. Actually, if you see over here on the TVs, I don't know if you can see up there at the very top there. He's got a nice little shout out for a graveyard shift, the very first one here. Let me see if I can. I would have to. Oops, dang it! What did I do? I did something here. I screwed something up. Oh, Barry, you screwed something up here. Let me get to it. Anyways, it was a nice little shout out. It was a nice little Easter egg that he had. Let's see if I can get to it here. Beer with beer. Beer with beer. There we are. Comics Gate Rising. I thought that was pretty neat. I thought that was a neat little kind of Easter egg, I suppose. So, anyways, you have the guy here, and you kind of see his little story as he's out on the street, kind of on the run, I suppose, on the run. Now, the next thing here is he comes up, and this is what kind of confused Bear just a little bit. Is although this is a great scene. Now, when you look at it in the book, it's actually Bear rotated this, so you're looking at one page and then the other page. So you actually had to kind of rotate the book 90 degrees to be able to see this page. I thought it was really neat. So, anyways, I've turned the page here just so you can kind of see it as is. But wasn't really sure whether or not he was. You had him kind of walking down the street and everything, and he's kind of sullen and all this sort of stuff, and goes to the bridge, and I'm not sure if he's trying to jump off to commit suicide or if he just was sort of getting up on there and screaming at the world, and ends up slipping and falling and hitting his head and falling down and falling to apparently his supposed death here. So I'm not really sure, but I thought it was a really neat set of pages that Eric did here. All right, let me continue here, because you finally get we finally got the Shadow Sentry. No, you haven't gotten the Shadow Sentry, people. This is sort of like their sort of I don't know how you'd call it. The contracting agency, I suppose. I'm not really sure. They had the sort of main people who were what was it? It wasn't Heavenborn, but oh gosh, I should. You know what? Bear should have done a little bit of research before he did this. But anyways, it's the opposite of the Hellborns, the Heavenborns, as we'll call it here. So they have that, and you get a little bit more insight into it, but not really. It kind of continues on. But the main character here, I think, he goes to hell goes to hell. I wonder if he'll see the Expendables down there. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention to the chat here. Let's see. I was feeling nostalgic looking at this book. I'm wondering if you're talking about... I think he was talking about Shadow Sentry here. Mrah! He's a Philly Flyers fan. Deserves to be in the hospital. Highborns. Thank you, Andrew. So, yeah, you get introduced to the Highborns there. But I felt like it should have just went straight to this. Actually, there was a panel or two right before this, but I felt like it should have just went. The main character falls down. He transitions into the afterlife, I suppose, and this kind of, you wake up to that. I really thought this was a great page. He's really knocking out a lot of these full page or semi-full page. Actually, you can kind of extend it to 2-page, I guess, but I thought he did a really great job here, but it was a little bit out of order, I felt. Anyways, it kind of added a little bit to the, not necessarily confusion, but it was a little, again, it was a little dense. You were introducing a lot of characters, and I mean, we're 30 pages into it, and it's like, I think this is the main character, this is who we've been following around, but then, you kind of go back to, oh, there he is, he gets revived, and then finally you get introduced, kind of reintroduced, I guess, to sort of some of the bad guys here. There's Hopscotch in the background. Actually, Bear's got the not sketch card. What do you call it? The metal cards. Need to figure out what's going on with that. But get the metal card, and actually got the original drawing of Hopscotch from Matthew Weldon. Oh my gosh, that was some good stuff there. I should have brought that out, but we'll do that next time. Hopefully, when we get the card, because I'd like to be able to frame that and have the metal card in there. I think that would be pretty cool. Pardon me. Taking a drink, people. All right. So, anyways, he is revived, and we kind of come to the understanding that it was kind of a, I guess, guardian angel, I suppose. So you've got sort of the two sides, the Hellborns and the Highborns, the good and the bad. They're trying to fight over the sorts of main character that you have here. Let me see. Here we are. And finally, on page 32 and 33, you're introduced to the Shadow Sentry. So, there's a little... it wasn't really clear for Bear as far as where the... let me get back to it. Let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, wasn't really sure where this sort of, the sort of highborn... when they're underneath I think it's under London or something like that. I'm not really sure where that fit into as relation to the Shadow Sentry people. I don't know if they were the same sort of group or, they were hired out or... Anyway, so the Shadow Sentry people, they're kind of a, I guess you could say kind of like a heavenly version of the X-Men. I guess would be kind of the best way to describe it. So you got these guys, and there's actually a couple more, but this is all the pages that I was able to scan in, and the scanning wasn't that bad. It was the resizing that I had to do to be able to get to it. It's really big pictures here, and you had to kind of scale it back. But anyways, that was kind of the gist story of Shadow Sentry. They kind of find the main character there, and they were able to kind of get... Again, there was another confusing issue where he was sent to a second foster home, that it was kind of run by the sort of highborn people, and that was a little confusing as well. I thought that... Well, I don't know. Again, I don't... If you would have included it or not at the very beginning, but I thought having two different... Well, actually, probably three if you include the very couple first pages there. But they had the foster homes, so I'm not sure if the baby was put into the foster home and it sort of was made invisible to the sort of Hellborns, or if it sort of disappeared. It was a little kind of confusing there, just a little bit, but just kind of generally, it was I thought it was a good story. It got kind of cluttered just a little bit. I felt like it should have been a little bit more narrow. Should have kind of focused on the sort of main character there. Although he had nothing to do with Shadow Sentry, so do you want to introduce Shadow Sentry first, and then sort of the bad guys, and then kind of introduce sort of your main sort of your chosen one sort of deal. Um, it should have been a little bit more kind of focus, is what Bear's trying to say here with with a hard time trying to say it. Anyways, take a drink. Yes, Bear. So that was that. One of the good things that Bear saw here, real briefly, it kind of talks a lot about your I guess heaven and hell, good and bad. Um, and it was a sort of, and this isn't in a bad way, but it was sort of a generic good and bad, good and evil. I felt if Eric wanted to, and I don't know his religious affiliation or anything like that. I felt like if he really wanted to, he could have gone into sort of very dogmatic, this religion or that religion or something like that. I thought he did a really great job in just making it a very sort of generic good versus evil story. It could have really went into the sort of preachy, proselytizing. Do you want to say proselytizing? Proselytizing, preachiness that kind of comes with some of the, um, if you've got a lot of an artist that has a very particular religious affiliation, sometimes that sort of creeps in a little bit. I thought he did a really good job of just making it a very appealing to people of all sorts of denominations. I thought that was a really smart choice. He could have went in another direction, but I think keeping it that way was a smart decision there. I thought it was a smart decision. Why is that guy have? Oh my gosh, I didn't line this up properly. I'm looking at the guy's arm here, and it just wasn't like lined up properly. Let me see if I can. It's trying to snap on me here. That's why it's doing that weird thing. But there we go. Well, no, I don't know. I think his arm is just off. No, don't want to go too far. Anyways, it's supposed to look like that. Huh. Anyways. So that was kind of the scoop behind Shadow Sentry. I thought he had some really great artwork here. It was too bad that it was kind of cluttered with a lot of the dialogue. I thought Eric Ledger's too much. Did a really good job with what he had. I just thought it was a lot. I thought it was a lot. There was only one thing that Bear had a trouble with, and that was when they were introducing this character. And I don't see it. Yeah, because it's so small, it's really hard to see. Kind of right above his head here, the guy in the cyborg suit here. Uh, you had all this dialogue here, and it was talking about he or him or something like that. I didn't know who he or him was talking about, and you see the character's name just very faintly above his head there. And then if you look off to the other panel here, off to the right, you see the lady here, and you see her name kind of right above her head. Anyways, trying to find that stuff was a little bit hard. I wish it was a little bit bigger or maybe a little bit more kind of contrasty, I suppose. Because I'm reading all this, and it's like, who are we talking about here? Okay, that guy. I didn't see his name there. That would be kind of the only complaint I have as far as some of the dialogue boxes go. Otherwise, he did a really good job with it. Other than it just being really dense and really kind of just talkity, very talkity, I thought. And just could have narrowed down the story just a little bit, made it a little bit more specific. You could leave it on the cliffhanger without having to introduce a whole lot of, where was it? Some of the other characters here that wasn't really kind of understanding. Where was it here? Where was it? Yeah, it was this guy. Oops, not that guy. That guy. I felt like maybe you could have taken some of that stuff out and it would have been fine. It wouldn't have been an issue at all. So I thought that was kind of a knock on Shadow Sentry. Um, it wasn't paced the best. I guess is the way that Bear's kind of describing it here. Is you would get into like right before this was where he was jumping off, right? Let's see. Yeah, where he was jumping off. So you jump right there into the next scene. So you're figuring, okay, we're gonna see him show up here. No, he shows up in hell. So, it might have been a neat little twist there, but I felt like it should have been a little bit more focused, either on your main character here, or some of the other characters. I thought that where was he here? Let me try and find it. Yeah, I thought the main bad guy here was kind of interesting here, just kind of his story and just not giving a crap or anything like that. You'll see what happens. I'm not going to spoil it or anything like that, but kind of comes around to bite him in the butt later on. But yeah, anyways, I thought that was pretty neat. The story was good, but again, it was kind of lacking as far as pacing goes. Whereas she, let me see if I can pull up she here real quick. Let me pull that back up. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Bear with bear for 1 second. Bear with bear. Alright, let me click on the thing where you do the thing and the thing. Well, there's the video capture. Display capture. There we are. Yeah, I thought again, the story was much more focused. It was a lot focused. It was a lot more, not a whole lot of fat. It was very lean, and the story that they were trying to tell, they told it. They told it really well and everything. The only thing that I would say, and listen, this was pretty hard for Bear to kind of choose between the two here. It was kind of hard to choose between the two. Let me just kind of go back to it so we can see both of them here. There we are. There we are. So it's kind of hard to kind of choose between the two because they were both really, really good. Billy Tucci kind of had his whole little area, a great story, great art, of course, from the classic Billy Tucci here. Like you said, well paced. And again, nice, really great colors. They made this one in like I think if it was a black and white or if it was like a glow in the dark edition. So, anyways, they had some interesting stuff, and then of course you can see. Let me just go back to it real quick. Oops, there we are. You can see some of the just great colors that he has in here. Really kind of dynamic colors that he has. I thought that was really good. Kind of coming between some of the sepia tone stuff and some of the yeah, there's some good colors there. I was trying to go back to the sepia stuff. Oh, where is it? Where is it? I thought this was a pretty cool panel right here where he had his reflection looking back on him. I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, some great colors. Really, I thought both of them had really great colors, honestly. It has some flat areas, but other than that, I mean, the fight scenes were great. The fight scenes were really good. I mean, really dynamic and everything. And of course, you had a lot of unexpected twists in there as well. You had this main character here, the bad guy here, fighting the other bad guy. I'm not going to go into spoilers or anything like that, but they had a kind of a interesting, unique kind of twist to it there as well. So that was neat. It even though it was kind of a just standard, I don't want to call it standard story, but it was just kind of, it was a very good story, but it just, okay, here's the plot point, here's the plot point, here's the plot point. You're kind of going along with it and everything, and all of a sudden you got the twist to it. So I thought that was kind of a neat way to do things. He really paced it out very well. Of course, Shadow Sentry also, let me go back to it here so you can see it. Let me go back to it. There we are. Oh, happy Mother's Bears Day. Yes, there we are. There's Mom. Looking lovely on Mother's Day. Anyways, Shadow Sentry. Some really great artwork. Again, really great colors. I thought he was really, I mean, even at times, even more dynamic than what Billy Tucci was doing as far as some of the colors that he had coming out and everything. It wasn't paced as well as Billy's was. It felt longer. For whatever reason, it felt a little bit longer. But kind of coming down to it. Okay, which one would you choose? Between the two, you got two great books. You got the book, the classic stuff from Billy Tucci here. Kind of coming up against a sort of newcomer. in Eric Ninaltowski here. So Bear actually likes to do that whenever he's doing some of the verses here. Haven't had a whole lot to be able to do kind of verse wise, so it's always good to get back to it. We did some previously where we're putting up, I think it was Narwhal that won just barely, just by a hair, just by a narwhal hair on Gary Titan's Titan. Gary Shipman's Titan. So it's always nice to have these sort of contrasty stuff. Billy is very, I guess what you'd call kind of traditional at it, where Eric, I felt like he took more chances. Let me just give you a quick example. If I can find it here, give me bear 1 second. Although that was a good one. That one I expanded. There we are. Oops, nope. There we are. So you had this one, which actually it was you had to take the book and then twist it, turn it to be able to see it. So a lot of people might kind of knock the book on that. Oh gosh, I got to turn around and everything. Bear felt like Eric took more chances with what he had, and I felt like. Let me go back to the other one. Where was it? Yeah, that one. That was another great one. Billy was a little bit more traditional and just kind of had the panel layout. Where Shadow Sentry, it kind of broke that mold up. I feel like this page is kind of a good example of how some of that panel layout kind of got broken up and everything. So, I don't want to cover up She here and Billy Tucci. So, really, what it came down to for Bear between the two, I really like She. I thought She, and I'm looking forward to number three coming out. So that's going to be kind of concluding. I think it's a trilogy, if I'm not mistaken. So he did a really good job, kind of combining the sort of previous, I guess, 25 years. I don't know how long She has been produced here, but the past issues and stuff like that. I felt like he did a really good job, kind of bringing all those fans up to date without kind of cluttering it up. With some of the new fans that haven't read some of that stuff. So he did a really good job with that. Did a really good job with all the artwork and everything. The only thing is I think Eric Ninaltowski took those extra chances, and it's not always that you want to find the person that takes the chances. It's you want to see the person that takes the chances and they have it succeed for them as well. So that was the only difference between the two. Both great books, but if Bear had to choose just one, it's going to be Shadow Sentry, people. It's going to be Shadow Sentry because I felt like Eric Ninaltowski took some chances on there. Some of them didn't work out. Some of them did. But I think overall, if you're kind of trying to figure out, what was the sort of difference between the two, it would definitely be that he took some chances. Although there is kind of one thing that Bear had as far as the I guess what you would say quality of the books, and I feel like this is a little bit unfair because it is a hardcover for She, while Shadow Sentry is a soft cover. It's perfect bound, but I want to show you something here, and hopefully some of the artists will take notice of some of this stuff, because to show some of that for you people, Bear never got a PDF like he did with She, so Bear's having to go through, and kind of felt like I was going to do a review for it anyways, kind of a standalone review. So I wanted to scan everything in. So Bear went ahead and kind of scanned all the pages in here. Here's the downside. Let me, sorry, Mom. Gotta get this out of the way. We love you, Mom. We love you, Mom. Wherever you are. The only downside to it here was, let me see if I can get to it here. Open it up here. Get to a random page because I'm sure it'll open up here. There we are. The only thing is when you open it up. Now, first off, you can see where there we go. Can we see it? We can see it now. You can see where all the artwork goes to the extreme end of the page where, like, Billy Tucci kind of had kind of the panels kind of a gap. Now, it might not have worked on like a page like this, okay? Because he's trying to do two pages at the same time. But the downside to it, I don't know if we can see that there. Let's see if we can zoom in. So what happens is these perfect bounds sort of get kind of split there, and I've got the loose page here. I don't know if we can see that. Got a loose page there. So that's what happens when you put it in the scanner and you scan it a number of times. Is it gets kind of flattened out where it gets kind of. It doesn't really rip the pages or anything like that, but where it's sort of, I guess, glued together, it kind of starts to separate. Where, let me see if I can grab it here. 1 second. Bear with beer. Grab it here. Now, he had a little bit different style, and he was just doing panels and stuff like that, but just want to show kind of as an example. See, it goes all the way there, but you have a little bit of space between there. So you got some space between the panels, but even still, you open it all the way up, and it's still bound there. It's still bound as far as all that sort of stuff. So Bear could have put this into the scanner, and it would have been just fine. But I've got the PDF instead, and of course, you could see the fossil backdrop there. There we are. There we are. Giving away all my secrets. I still have my signed She #1 from the 90s. Holy cow, Andrew J. He is a longtime supporter of She. Longtime supporter. Well, I hope I didn't disappoint you. Hope I didn't disappoint anybody here, Andrew J. for picking Shadow Sentry over She. I really like She. Actually, Bear read She #1 for the very first time. I think it was about 2 weeks ago or so. Bear had gotten what he thought was the Return of the Warrior when that campaign came out. So we thought he'd gotten that, but he'd gotten a sketch cover for it. So Bear got it in, and so I felt bad. I didn't want to open it up or anything like that. And what ended up happening was Bear actually got a second order in, which he thought was going to be the regular comic and everything, and evidently ended up hitting the wrong button there and getting the prints instead. So I got a whole bunch of prints from that first campaign, and the very first book, which, let me see, do I have it? Let me, bear with beer. 1 second. Let me see. No, I don't. No, I don't. But anyways, it's on one of the other videos that Bear had. Is a very nice head sketch and everything. So I was like, oh well, okay, well I'm not gonna be able to read this book or anything like that because I don't want to damage it or anything like that. And finally got around. He's like, all right, well let me go ahead and read this. I thought it was the Return of the Warrior book, but it actually was the very first book. So got to read that. That was a really good. We talk about different chances and stuff like that people took. There was something I think very very early on in the book where the She character, they had a guy. I think it was a guy. No, it was a female cop. She was getting beaten up in an alleyway. And the way that the panels kind of laid out, it kind of had these sort of alleyway, and then it took a 90-degree, and then you had the cop car kind of shining down the alleyway, and then you had kind of She walking along, kind of, so that the shadow was projecting up or projecting down the alleyway, and then you had the 90-degree turn at the top of the page, so then you can see all the people battling it out there in the, I call it the second alleyway or the turn of the alleyway there. I thought that was a great kind of setup and everything, and that was kind of one of the things that it was a little bit missing from the She book here. Is it was very kind of, and he did a really great job with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I think Billy is an expert on just laying out that sort of stuff. But I miss some of that very, I don't know, early 90s, late 90s, whatever, mid 90s, whatever it was, artwork that he did, a little bit. You have your hungry artist, so they take a little bit more chances. Where I felt this was a little bit more, I want to say safe choices. He did some really interesting choices, and I really liked a lot of the sort of blending and artwork that he was doing there. But it was just panel, where Eric kind of blended a lot of that stuff in, and Bear was missing a little bit of that from Billy, especially from his very first book. So yeah, I'm glad you were able to get that book. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And he's telling Billy, oh my gosh. Well, give Bear his best regards, even though he didn't pick us. Again, it was really, this was a hard choice. It was really the hardest choice. I got to the end of the second book here, and I was like, I think I'm gonna choose she. But the more that Bear thought about it, it was like, well, I didn't like the pacing and the story in Shadow Sentry, but he had some really great artwork. You can't knock his artwork there. Um, and I think, let me go back because I think I read that the other week. Give Bear just 1 second here. Ah, yes, here it is. Let me pull it up here because he was talking about 1 second. Eric was talking about a sort of line art version. Um, I think this would be kind of interesting to get. So take out all the dialogue boxes and everything, and just kind of show the artwork as well. So I think that would be an interesting thing. Yeah, his 7.5 by 11.5 with 20 pages of extras. There you go. So, anyways, I thought that was kind of a interesting way of kind of doing some stuff as far as his artwork goes and everything. And I mean, just look at all the detail that goes in there. That's pretty cool. He did a really good job. He did a really great job. I thought the coloring was just out of sight. It was excellent. Again, Eric Letters Too Much does a great job. It all came. The book came together. It was just the story and just the pacing of it was off. And really, I mean, I could have went with she and would have been just fine. I would have said, oh, the pacing's fine, all this other stuff. But that was one of the things that was just kind of nagging at Bear, was just saying, he took a couple more chances. So I think that's when you get down to kind of competitions like that, you kind of like, okay, if everybody's equal, which one would you choose and why? And I think that just taking those couple extra chances kind of put him over the top. Still looking forward to the third she. I think rounding it out might change Bear's mind. You never know. Oh, let me get off of this. Get off of that. Where is it? There it is. There we are. There we are. So, anyways, that is that. That is the kind of review for both of those. Great books. Go check them out. She is going to be going out of it. I think, what do you say, next Friday? Next Friday, so get on she. Even if you don't, give Deborah a drink, for crying out loud. Shadow Sentry. He's got the what do you say, at the end of May? I think the black and white thing that you just saw was going to be at the end of the May, and then let me read. And then in June, wow, that's pretty quick. Book 2 is going to launch, so you get to look forward to book 2. Ooh, there's Hopscotch. All right, one of my favorite characters. I thought that Eric did a really good job as far as the bad guys in his book. I thought the good guys were just kind of, kind of vanilla. I thought some of the bad guys, I mean, they had some great characters in there. I thought that was really good. So, anyways, that is the review for that. I was actually going to. Bear's gotten these mysterious packages in. I haven't really been sure where it comes from. It is WCB show. WCB show. So I'm not really sure what is in there. So I don't know if I wanted to do a box opening live or anything like that. So I don't know. I might save that for the next time. Just kind of make that its own little thing here. Because let's see, how long have we been on? Oh yeah, about an hour or so. So that'd be a good place to wrap it up here. I think with the end of the reviews. Like you said. Well, I'll give a video update the next time as well. I've been doing some stuff. Well, I'll get into it real quick here. Let me see. Let me get to it real fast. Been doing a sort of if you haven't joined us before on some of the earlier videos, did something called "It Can't Happen Here," which was kind of a reading of a screenplay that Bear had written some time back. And let me do that and click that. So what I've done here is kind of went back, kind of edited some of this stuff here, and then we're gonna put it back out as far as a, I don't know how you would describe this, sort of as a animatic or as a come on, get to it here. Um, Something along those lines. So we added some pictures in some of the videos, but it was hard to kind of read along. Let's see, there's the screenplay right there. It was kind of hard to read along and then at the same time do a lot of the pictures that would kind of go along with it. So went back, kind of edited out some stuff. So we've been able to find some different pictures here. There's Kenji right there, different stuff, and he's out there. It is home in Hawaii chasing the chickens. Although these are roosters, not roosters, turkeys. Um, Hopefully nobody will notice. Hopefully nobody will notice. There's the chickens. There's the chickens, and then the airplanes come and they're gonna take out. They're gonna take out Pearl Harbor. We're talking about very beginning of World War II here and all that sort of stuff. So, anyways, we're doing some of that, and hopefully you'll check it out here once Bear gets finished. But you see, got some stuff here, but there's still some gaps in here, so I gotta figure some of that stuff out. I might do a kind of a better update the next time here, but just wanted to show you guys we're doing some stuff here that's some fun stuff. I don't know if we can. I think I've got my. Oh yeah, you can hear it. Yeah, I'll turn it up here. Oh, that's about as high as I can get it. Sorry. And I'm talking over myself. All right. So, anyways, that's kind of the idea behind it. Is we're gonna kind of do some stuff with the screenplay. If you've been through it before, hopefully you find some new stuff. I've got a whole bunch of freaking pictures here. A lot of the times that's where I'm looking at different stuff, and I need to come up with a thumbnail for it. So, like for example, I came up with this is one of the thumbnails that on the thousands and thousands of pictures that Bear has to sort through in some of the archives. So, anyways, that's one of the pictures there. Anyways, trying to get through that. This is the very first act. We got about 10 of them. So, or not first act, the first sort of section. So we got about 10 different ones. This is the first one. I got the second one more or less done, and then need to work on it a little bit more. There's Pearl Harbor. Kaboom! That's pretty cool. I didn't do too many color pictures, but tried to get a couple color pictures in there as well. So, anyways, that's kind of the update behind all that sort of stuff. Is there's your MP guys coming to get them, and load them onto the boat there. So, anyways, that's what's going on with the video. It's just taking a long time getting pictures and putting them in and getting it all squared away. And also, you got to make sure that you don't go crazy with the copyright. Don't want that to happen. Don't want people to come after you copyrights. All this stuff is not necessarily copyright free, but it's in the archives, and you can, as long as you give credit and stuff like that, they're fine with it. Some of the pictures, not all of them. So, anyways, that's kind of the story behind that. Let me just go back to wrap it up here with you good people. Well, at least Andrew J. And if anybody else is watching this later, hey, give Bear a shout in the description. Listen to me in the comments section there. Bear always appreciates that. Always appreciates some comments there. And hey, also if you do want to help out Bear in the channel and everything, make sure you hit that thumbs up, and if you aren't subscribed, hey, make sure you're subscribed. And Bear would have really appreciated it if you shared it out and everything. He doesn't have the Twitters or anything like that, so if you do, make sure you just send out the link or send out Bear's channel. I would appreciate that very much. All right, well, thank you, Andrew J. I appreciate it. Hey, you know what? Sometimes it's a very personal stream between Andrew and Bear. How about that? Yeah. Oh, also, in the comment section, if you like this sort of time frame, we're doing it. Well, it's just about 6 o'clock here, so actually, it's about time for Bear to eat. So might have to head back into the woods here. But anyways, just drop a comment in there as well. So hey, great having you here, Andrew. Really appreciate it. Yes. Well, I don't know. Anyways, throw the jar of spaghetti up against the wall. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching and showing up and everything. We're gonna go ahead and do this. Do it again on a Wednesday. Probably at our normal time, but we'll see how things go. If it's at a different time, I'll try to let you guys know. So, all right. Well, anyways, enough of this jibber jabber. We're just gonna head back into the woods. So until next time, everybody. Grrrr.